We are getting online here with all of you, and I think we're live. Hello, welcome to Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton. I'm Will Melton. This is a Channel RVA production. We are going to be listening to a little bit of music in the background here, thanks to Channel RVA. I am hopeful that you guys can hear me just fine here, but if you cannot, just leave a little comment. Today I'm going to do something I wasn't planning on doing, but I wanted to go live with you guys and take you a little bit into the background of my world at Xponent21 and show you what we're building. I have taken some weekends off. I have skipped some sessions in part due to scheduling conflicts, but at times because I'm building something that is really key to the work that we're doing at Xponent21. And I want to spend some time talking about that today. And I want to take you into that world that I had been spending a little bit of time in and not building other things. But I'm going to take you around a few places today before I get started because I could use your help. I don't do a good job at asking for help from any of my audiences, but I'm asking for it today. So if you're in the Richmond market, please go subscribe to Channel RVA. It's easy, and I think you're going to like what you find there. It doesn't cost anything, and we drop a newsletter in your inbox every day and connect you closer to Richmond through our art program and through our audio feeds and through our original content and our contributor content. So we have some new contributors coming to the platform that we'll announce here very soon. We have some original content that we're going to be bringing to the platform, including a new episode of um, The Agency. Why I'm drawing a blank there, I don't know, but The Agency is original content produced by Xponent21. It is a parody of The Office, if you can do such a thing. And we'll be dropping the next episode on the 20th of April. So that's something to look forward to. If you haven't seen the first 3 episodes, go check those out over at the agency, channelrva.com. Click on the agency under shows. And then we're going to be introducing a brand new show called, let's see, the AI Game Show Podcast. You might have seen me building this in a previous session, but that's going to be coming out here very soon. We have a new cast lineup for that. We don't have a page on the website for it yet, so maybe we will work on that today in addition to the primary thing that I was planning on doing. Another thing I would draw your attention to, and what I'm working on today has everything to do with how my clients appear in large language models for prompts related to what they do. I'm teaching a course on this exact subject at the University of Richmond here in about 11 days. And I've got space in the class. I want to fill it up. I want to bring everything that I have been building to you guys and make sure that people in Richmond are ahead of the game. So I'm going to be bringing some of my latest research to this course. It's going to be next practices that you'll be learning here, and you will be getting real work product out of it. So take a look at let's see, the best way to get to this is I'll put this in the show notes, but you can find it on my LinkedIn if you pop over there. And it's also in Enroll, which is enroll.com. There's quite a lengthy link here, but if you want to take a screenshot and grab that out of your screenshot, you could do it. I would love to have this class fill up show the University of Richmond that the future of marketers are being sourced from their university. So a lot going on here. If you are tuning in for the very first time, check out studio.willmelton.com. That is the place where all of my apps live. Now, I don't have everything here right now because we've been close-lipped about some of the things that we're building. So I have a couple of new things to add into this, but for the most part, some of the things that we've been building have been under wraps because they are huge competitive advantages for us. And I'm going to reveal a little bit of that today as we get started. But you can subscribe to studio.willmelton.com. You can get a referral link. You can send folks our way and get paid if they invest or buy some of the things that we're building. So I encourage you to scope out our sessions too. You can see all of our past vibe coding sessions here, and you'll be able to catch up on anything that you're behind on. I have a couple of shorts in here. I've got one that talks about the product roadmap that I build and use to drive everything home. But for the most part, these are pretty lengthy episodes. We'll work to chop those up a little bit and make this more useful to people. But as the technology moves pretty quickly, some of these sessions either contain, my limited knowledge, or things have changed with the technology, and we can do a lot more now that we couldn't do before. So no matter what you're doing, just know that you can do just about anything you want to do. Even early on when I built studio.melton.com, I was bringing pretty advanced features to this environment, and I feel like we've only leveled up since then. So I'm going to close out of these things. Got to keep my music there in the background, so I'll pull that down here. And let me go ahead and get into what I wanted to talk about today. So today we are building Spaceport, and Spaceport is management software. Let me get into this. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up here and show you what I've got going on. So if I just were to log out here and take you to the homepage of Spaceport, there's no homepage to Spaceport. It is just a login screen because this is our internal management software. Now, a couple of things that I want to alert you to is I've really leaned into using the Google single sign-on with this project and with all the projects that our team uses, because we are a Google Home, and we don't intend to replace that anytime soon. I think we are happy with the Google Suite for email and files and productivity, so we're going to maintain that. Now, what we do want to do, though, is maintain security, and we want to maintain some level of speed as we want to move into building things. So what we're doing today somewhat is connecting several different applications together and making sure that as we navigate those applications, we can effectively log into each one without having to do a whole lot. Now, I'll talk you through some of the things that this does as we go through it, but I'll just show you first and foremost that the key element to this is just efficiency. And so everything that my team uses is all here: Claude, Slack, Gmail, Asana, FreshDesk, Lovable, and all of the internal applications that manage our organization are here. So I've got more to add to this today. I've got one more application to add, but I have discovered that in order to build at the speed that we want to build at, we have to separate these applications out into multiple applications. And in order to effectively educate our team on what these new tools are, we have to give them insights and help them understand why we're building things and what that is going to help them with. What we could do a better job of here is, what's the timeline on this? When do we expect these things to come out? Now, we're building at a rapid clip, so some things are emerging rather quickly, so fast that it's hard to actually predict when we're going to be done with something. So that might not be something that we actually do, but everything in here is something that can be accessed. Now, I'm going to click into this because this site is very much in development. We have a foundational kind of concept of what we want to do here, but there's a lot more to go. So you can see that Spaceport is still present on the top of the screen, and we are, hey, Michael, how you doing? We are able to switch very easily back into another application. So that's one of the big elements about this. I can close out of this. I can open it up in another tab. And here I am back at my application again. So I can get into the different things that I'm going to need to be able to run my business. Let me see if I can open up one of these without giving too much away here. I can get in Liberating Facilitator because I built that for you guys. This is a totally free application, and the only problem I have right now is that it's not automatically logging me in. So we're going to go over to Liberating Facilitator, and I'm trying to automatically log into the dashboard for Liberating Facilitator from the Spaceport application, but it is just taking me into the main menu, and there's no attempt to automatically log in based on my logged in status with Google, and that was one of the intended uses for that application. So tell me if we need to make a change here. I feel like when somebody visits the homepage, there should be an attempted login for them, and route them to the dashboard so that they don't have to take those extra steps. Now, the thing that I'm doing here today, because I'm tying a bunch of things together, I am referencing the other projects so that it knows what I'm trying to do here. Close out of some stuff. And so, again, the thing I'm working on today is just getting it so that I can be really fast to access these apps. I think Carl Intelligence is the one that works as it should. It takes me right into the application. So that's the one that does actually work. So I got to get the rest of them to do the same thing. So we're going to see what Carl Optimizer says. Publish that. Okay. So I'm going to add one more application in here. I need to add one more application to the suite, which is the Carl Optimizer application. It can go below Carl Wrights for now as a development badged application. Now I'll talk a little bit about, let's see, I'll talk a little bit about what the underlying motivation is for all this. And if you've been following along, you might have not missed this, but I'm replacing a very large expense line on my budget, north of $100,000. I'm not exactly sure how much. I haven't done the math to figure that out since we have been really starting to fold a lot of different things into this single application here. And so I'm very motivated to get this done, and that's part of the reason why I've been a little bit absent. So I'm showing you guys because I know that the whole world isn't going to see this, but the whole world could if they wanted to, and perhaps we're giving a little bit of advance notice to our competitors out there. But I'll talk a little bit about what I'm building from a apps perspective. So Carl AIO is a management platform that we have been using since for about 6 months or so. We built it last year to help us keep track of all of our clients and the work that we do for them. So it's more of a management application. Carl Intelligence is new, and it is something that we're about to roll out in a public way, but it tracks prompts, finds out every single day whether you show up or don't show up in large language models. I'm not going to click on that one today because I don't want to yet reveal what that is, but I can tell you that it is going to be a disruptor because it's going to be free. I'm going to make it probably free for about 3 months. I wanted to do 6 months, but the cost is going to be pretty astronomical there. We need to validate the model and make sure that we can win business from this. It is a lead generator for us, but it's also a tool for us to conduct research. We have access to lots and lots of raw prompt response data, and we've begun to start a research lab, and that's what Carl is. Ultimately, it's the Cognitive AI Ranking Lab. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the program, but another piece to this is our writing tool. So this says 5-agent content pipeline. Don't feel like we're limited to 5 agents. That's just how we're starting. but there's so many pieces to this that ultimately feed our business. Like the optimizer has the underlying model. Our research will unfold a model that will allow us to set the rules for multiple touch points across the development of an article and the optimization of existing content. So essentially leveraging the latest research that we have coming out of our lab to build that into a model to be able to more quickly optimize content, but also to do it with the next practices in mind. So, what are our latest findings? What have we discovered that the latest AI models are responding to, and really getting ahead and never being behind? And then the CMS is this is a content management system that is still in its infancy as far as a tool goes, because it is entity based as opposed to page or post based, which takes a little bit to unpack, so I'm not going to get into that too much today. Then we have all of our development tools. So we have our Grow tool, so our CRM and our proposal software, and our discovery tools. So this is something that anybody can have and access to for free. Facilitation tool to have better meetings. You've seen me build that if you've been following along. The Discovery Engine is a project scoping, pricing, and planning tool that takes the inputs from Liberating Facilitator and turns that into a coherent proposal with a scope of work and a price and a business plan that tests out the viability of that investment and a build plan that we can leverage to make sure that we're meeting all the requirements for that project. Discover AIO is a community that is live now, and this is something that we invite you to come over into if you're wanting to learn more about what it takes to be a leader in AI search. This community is all about doing that. So, this is a course repository, it's a directory of professionals, it is up to date, latest news, expert content from the Xponent21 team and contributors to our community. And we have free options for folks to come in here, so you don't have to pay, and there's benefits for everybody who joins from an education standpoint, as well as from the ability to publish content right on our platform and begin to build your authority as an optimizer if that's your area of expertise. We'll eventually build out some courses to teach people how to actually build a business similar to ours, but we thought that the better thing to do would be to build the actual tools first. It's much easier to give people a system if the tools exist. And so we're charting a course toward that and thinking about how we can commercialize the applications that we ultimately have in our suite. Not everything is going to be available to everybody in the beginning, and we're not even sure that everything is going to be available to anybody. Some things are going to very much be internal applications. So I can tell you right now that Curl AIO was designed to be put out there live as a application that people can buy. We haven't made a decision on that firmly, but I think that there's a pathway to that. Certainly, it's a tool that our clients are able to log into to see where we're at with their progress and their performance. Carl Intelligence is a lead generation tool, so that is a public-facing tool that is still, I would say, a bit in beta testing. We've got some final bugs to work out of that. Carl Wrights is very much in testing. Carl Optimizer is very much in development. Carl CMS is more conceptual. So, but those things, Wrights, Optimizer, and CMS, right now they are designed to be tools for our clients to benefit from, but they're not designed to be client-facing tools as of yet. And then on this side of things, Liberating Facilitator is the one tool that we have that is designed to be a live front-facing thing, and Discover AIO is a community. So those are the two that folks get to out there, whereas Grow and Discovery Engine are a bit more related to our internal work. Fun little things that we can do here. We can favorite these guys, and they become part of our quick links up here at the top. We've also put in the other applications that we use that are not part of our platform, but that are things that will eventually, some of them will eventually roll up into this space. So, talking about a few things that this is going to do, this is going to be a place for all of our support tickets. And we're going to begin to integrate these things from across all of our applications. So support tickets can be generated right from the application that we build, so they don't have to go someplace new to ask for help. And then all the other incoming areas of our builds. All right, so as I hear my um, radio soundbite, I don't even know what they call those things. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. It's just a reminder to tell you hello. I'm Will Melton. This is Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is a channel RVA production, and I am showing you behind the curtains today for Xponent 21 what it is that we're building to introduce the next wave of operational evolution within our company, but also how we take all of the lessons that we've learned over the last couple of years and weave them into a coherent, operationalized strategy, execution plan, tool, whatever you want to call it, ecosystem. That's what we're building. So, all of my things like alerts from applications, as we start to build up our MCPs and have agents that go and investigate the different apps that we have for health interventions, that will be there. Security alerts. We want to separate out security alerts from regular tickets because these are high priority. And we want to have clarity first and foremost about these things before we address any other sort of tickets that we see in our system. So that's why that's separated out there. And we'll do things like, this might turn red if we have some critical alerts so that folks know that they need to go pay attention to that sooner. We also will have notifications. They're not here now, but eventually notifications will also inform people of what's going on. We'll have our client portal, which will eventually tie into our Grow platform, which is our CRM, as well as the lead generation platform, uh, intelligence. So lots to connect into this, and there's so many things to connect that my brain is a little slow to come up with even the memory of the names of these because they've evolved a little bit in their terminology, and we've recently had to think about unifying them and making them coherent from a brand perspective so that the team knew what they were dealing with. So the client portal is really just how we're able to manage who the clients are and contact information. We're going to be able to fire certain notifications, but we want to centralize the information so that we have a single source of truth for those things, and we can create an API between all of the different systems to make sure that happens. Requests are things that come in through all the different applications that we build. So they might be feature requests, they might be um, purchase orders, they might be any number of things because we have a number of different operationalized parts to our business. If you think about Channel RVA, for instance, or Discover AIO, these have subscription platforms. So we want to know whenever there's a new member who's come in, or Channel RVA, if I have a contributors application, I want that to be fed into a centralized platform. Bookings for West Broad Studios, just knowing that that happened and having it in this place is what we want. Same thing with hydration media, rentals for refill stations, advertising requests, things like that. So um, this is the compartmentalized brain of Will Melton in a user interface. This is how I think, and this is just for Xponent 21. So, and that's not everything. There's still a couple of things that are probably missing from that. Management. So, one of the things that we have had a big challenge with is um, maintaining consistency and time tracking. Folks know what they're doing, their calendar, their task list, their all that stuff is there and available to us. The challenge is if you don't hit that button or you don't stop that button, the accuracy that you really want in time tracking starts to go away. So you end up, uh, you know, rounding down or rounding up or trying to find that sweet spot going back investigating what was done. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into validating all the time that we have. And so a big piece of this is having us have clarity over um, where time is spent. And it's not necessarily because we're concerned about people not spending time appropriately, but we do understand that our business is dynamic and some clients demand more of our time than others. That's important for us to know, but we don't want to burden people with the time management burden. So this system is designed to observe when you start doing things, when you start to work on different things that have client attachments. Like if I open up a ticket that's related to a particular client, our time tracking system is going to automatically log that as a start point. And as long as they're continuing to operate within that client environment across our suite of apps, it will continue to monitor that time as time tracked until they switch to a new client or a new activity that doesn't have client facing necessity. So there's a lot that's going to work into that algorithm, and we have a lot to work out there. So that's not going to be that might not be something that we work on today, but it is like really central to what we're doing. And what I'm thinking about is how much are we monitoring across the stack, and are we really looking for people to stay within the stack? You know, when they click on these different things, are we actually keeping them there and having the having the spaceport top bar, kind of be that time tracking layer. And then let's see what I have here. The management piece. So we also want to have people checking back in on a daily basis and looking at their time log and saying, yeah, that sounds right. Let's validate that. Let me give a quick report on the day. And so the day closeout has a day closeout report. And if you don't do it when you come in the next day, it asks you to report on your day, and it doesn't let you into the system until you acknowledge your time logs and give a quick report. There's a bypass option in that in case you really need to get into the system. But we really want to enforce that data tracking, because the more data we have, the better we can our systems can be optimized to be able to be faster. We can eliminate friction points in their work. And this isn't necessarily like recording screens or taking screenshots or anything like that. It's just using event logging to be able to indicate where time is spent and if it's associated with client work. We also have announcements in here, and there's some things that need to be tidied up here because I've got some duplicate items. But time tracking, you can see the end of day report there. My roadmap, my trusty roadmap. I'm actually going to see what's going on with my roadmap. I'm going to push this through really quickly because I need to keep going.
Don't cry.
Something I'm really excited about with this, and what I was working on prior to the session today, is the Alien Lounge. So you might have seen this in your screenshots for this event if you did see that beforehand. And the Alien Lounge is kind of my employee doc site, if you will. I think SharePoint is what you might have called it back in the day, or if you were a Microsoft person. This is where you can see announcements. You can see our handbook. We'll have training in here. I don't have anything in here quite yet. SOPs, I'll talk about that in a minute. A glossary. We haven't imported the glossary terms yet. A directory with all of our team members. All the forms that will run our business that people need access to be able to do their work, and everything's grouped into sections there. And then policies, which we'll expand on as we develop some of that. Some of these things are in here already, I believe, so we just have a little bit of cleaning up to do. But our SOPs, I'm going to take a look at what one of these looks like, because this one should be kind of the most advanced one that we have. The screenshot's kind of big, but that's okay. It's the worst case thing that we've got, and that's not a big deal. Okay. This could be better. I think that there's some opportunities for us to improve this, but for right now, I'm going to leave it alone. I think it works okay. Um, and I kind of like, I mean, it's version history. Makes me happy. This is something that is going to be a huge driver in our operational efficiency. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. But, yeah. Okay. So here, let me talk to you about how the SOPs help us. So right now, these are outdated if we are considering the fact that I'm building a bunch of new tools. But from a historical operation perspective, kind of understanding how we operate, what we do, where things are, what people are expected to do, we are essentially connecting our employees to that information anyway through this SOP handbook. But by putting it into this application with the historical SOPs, I can do a few different things. Number one, I'm creating this SOP history. What this does for me is it allows me to see where changes happen and kind of know where we've evolved over time, and that could be important for us. It could be important for AI agents. But the other thing that I'm excited about is when I go to prompt these developments and have all these new features added into the system, I can ask the Lovable agent here to go and reference the SOPs that we used to have so it knows how we do things or how we used to do things. And that is um, that historical knowledge is really important for me so I can feel confident that what we're building is going to really fit in with what we've done historically. So, and some of these SOPs won't change, like these meeting SOPs, this is all staying the same. So we won't stop using that, but they'll get expanded on. And here's the best part. As we create these new features and we code these new features, I can come back over here to the Lovable agent and I can say, hey, go create a new version of XYZ SOP because we just added that new feature, or go create an SOP for these things that we need to do. And now, SOPs may not necessarily be the most efficient way to get things done, but if we have it documented and we have that history, then what we can do is we can train our chatbot to always know how to tell people what to do without a lot of friction and the compute need or just the clarity that it can provide and the links that it can insert into that experience. We already do that with our glossary and with our um, SOPs that they will link to each other. Some of these need to be updated, but we're just working on getting things imported. So that's been a gap that we need to manage there. All right. So in any event, so you see the version history there, and those things will link to each other whenever they reference each other. But we have some work to do to re-import some of the historical SOPs, and there's about 93 in here, so it's very possible that we're going to need to kind of go through these a little bit at a time and try to just make sure that they're up to date, because they're probably not up to date. But yeah, let me take a look at my roadmap over here. I have been kind of managing this to see to keep us moving through the build. So SOP format standardization. This has already been underway, but it's just going to clear that. No, that's in the backlog. That shouldn't be in the backlog. Check the product roadmap for redundancy. I see some things that might have been added in there twice. I want to combine those into one if that's happening. Also with the auto timer ticket linked time tracking, I want that to be expanded to not just tickets, but tasks or proposals or anything that's associated with a client. We're going to be associating client IDs across the entire system so that we can have that visibility and track that appropriately. So I just want to update that product roadmap item. All right, so again, you can come in here and mess with all these and type a bunch of stuff out. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to do that. I've just gotten used to interfacing with the Lovable agent as the best way to work. I have some logic gaps that I need to think through here, like what do employees see? How do we control their access? Right now, I believe that that's limited. Okay. Do we have any roadmap items that talk about providing access to the different navigation items inside of Spaceport, as well as controlling which platform applications people see inside of their account? We can do it as a role-based thing or like a team-based thing, like dev team versus strategy team versus creative team. Versus management or leadership. We can also do individual permissions where we can extend things to people. All right, I'm not really even sure what I just said. I just spaced out for a second there. All right, let's. All right. Oh, another thing too, just these interstitials. So one of the motivations. So there's a lot of things that are motivating this build out, but when I click on these interstitials, these can be closed out of if you wanted to just hit this toggle here. When you clicked on these, it'll just take you right into them, so you don't actually have to do the whole thing. And yeah, that's how that works. And let me see. Let me take you through. The content manager is a work in progress. This is sort of a version of a CMS, a content management system for this application. What is this guy? Chatbot, Spaceport AI. I hate these double X's. I don't know why. Sometimes I type to it and sometimes I don't. What else is in the Alien Lounge? The directory, forms, all the forms. This is also helpful to me because these links, a lot of these links will take you to the actual form in our Asana instance. And so all of the information on those forms can be captured by the Lovable agent. And actually, we can start building out all those forms inside of Spaceport. Uh, and, a lot of times we can get the AI agent to complete forms for people. Some improvements that we can make to the chatbot include making the icon more prominent and moving it up into the top bar of Spaceport. I think it needs to be kind of ever present in the top bar. And then I would like to also make sure that it has the ability to take action inside of the system where permissions are allowed. And so that's going to be things like filling out forms that we migrate over to this system from our old systems and creating tasks and completing tasks and just managing the things that need to be managed without having to click around all over the place. We can add this as a backlog product roadmap item because we still have some other things that we need to do before we're able to actually make that a reality. Goddamn. All right. So, got some different things working here. I'm thinking about doing a tab shell up here so you can have different applications open at one time and switch between them. Haven't settled on that yet. Not sure that it's something that we need to do, but thinking through a number of different things. But yeah, I think the big thing that I'm thinking about is data management. As I build all this stuff, it's like, how do I get the data in a place that I can leverage it for the acceleration of the development process? I want to go faster, and the sooner I can get all of these insights into one place, the faster I can then begin to build. So I mentioned earlier, I can just tell it to go create all the forms that are in here and make sure that it wires up all the notifications that are supposed to fire when those things happen. We'll just use the internal notification system because email is good for some things, but it's a nuisance for others. So mostly we'll leverage this in-app notifications. Whenever I click on a recommended Spaceport Assistance recommendation text, I want to make sure that it goes ahead, automatically searches that, and takes them into the chat. It doesn't actually I have to click the send button in order to make that work. The other thing I want to do is start to develop a little bit of knowledge on what areas of the application people are in and what they're visiting most of the time, what they're clicking around into, what they pay attention to in the SOPs, what they ask questions about, and begin to offer predictive suggestions inside of the chatbot that are more appropriate for them. And maybe even real time, as if it has the ability to understand what that user might be doing next. We can make this a bit more of a roadmap item because it could be a robust feature where it's even suggesting, create a ticket or create a task or email the client, or, maybe not email the client, but nudge the client. We're going to have some client nudges in here. If our API that we build is strong enough, we can begin to execute changes across the entire application suite when appropriate. We can more rapidly manage onboardings and offboardings for human team members and clients. Let's create a plan and put it into the product roadmap for future development. Put it in the backlog for now. So part of my motivation for not building that quite yet is I want to document this in the product roadmap. But like I was saying before, I want to get more of the context into the system before I continue to do all that. So I think one of my next activities is going to be to fix my SOP importer, because I've got yeah, that's going to be an important thing to do. I'm going to need to build some kind of in-app utility to properly clean up all of the SOPs. You've been able to do it on select SOPs, like the creating a Google Calendar SOP, but there are others that are still unfinished. And I really need each one of them to have all of the rich data that it should have. And the only thing I can think to do is to do them one at a time, and either do it in batches and have you go through each one and determine if there's something that needs to be improved about it and make that change, or have a button inside of each one where we can click a button to update the SOP with all the rich information that we need. Considering we'll be updating these SOPs over time as we develop software, perhaps the update SOP can also reference the latest code and actually make a more fundamental change and create a new version. I'm not sure what the best thing to do is here, but I do need to effectively get the SOPs properly imported with all the proper metadata and everything else. I know that we've found a way to get in and get that information, but we just have to move through the work. We have gotten stalled every time we've started with a heavy pipeline of development tasks. All right, so I'm going to go for another 10 minutes and then I'll go and enjoy this beautiful Saturday. If you're here in the Richmond market, we are looking at 70 something degrees and so nice out there. So, yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Channel RVA. Subscribe at channelrva.com if you want. Richmond news. This is really pulling from a number of different sources, but we are trying to bring you bite-sized chunks of what's happening and impactful in the region. We are connecting you to original creator content from across our network of creators. We are giving you some places to go for your meals on these beautiful days. Weather that's tailored to the Richmond market. Horoscope that's also tailored to the Richmond market. There's so much that we've got going on in here, and I hope you'll go check it out, from events to art to everything else. You see my crazy world here. The agency, I mentioned that earlier. We've got a new episode of this coming out on April 20th, so you can check out all the previous episodes of this so that you can see what we're all about. I realize that these are in reverse order because this is episode 1, that's episode 2, and this is episode 3, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. In any event, follow along my journey. I'm building 52 apps this year. Studio.willmelton.com. You can follow this build series. I've got a few more than 14. I'm going to update this now that I've given away a little bit of the behind the curtain on what I'm making. We can add, let's see, about 6 or so apps to that build. So that plus a couple more, and it puts me up to around 25, I think, apps in our challenge for the year, and it's early April, so it looks like I'll be finishing up by the summertime, which is pretty cool. All right, let's see what we've got here. How do you like to enrich the SOP cleanup? Yeah, both. I'll probably change that later so that it's a little bit more substantial, but for the time being, I'm going to keep it basic on how much we update the roadmap items, or sorry, the SOPs, because I don't want to change them dramatically unless it's based on the code that we're building. So for now, I just want to get the original SOPs cleaned up, and we'll come back and change that code later. All right. Let's go LinkedIn land. Watching and lurking today, which is quite all right. It's quite all right. Having fun over here, showing you guys a little bit into my world. Still working on getting a lot of the things that we're wiring up here fully integrated. We've got a lot of integrations that are connected via API, but they don't necessarily have either all the permission or the different fields are not mapped properly. And so we have just a lot of data cleanup to do, but working on getting things into a central place so that we can execute on this kind of centralized system of knowledge. It's a new era, and we're here to help folks think about how they can build the software of their future for the company. I do a lot of work with nonprofits right now, believe it or not. They are really on the cutting edge of the technology. Hey, how's it going, past gamers? Building some apps here, management apps for my company. Show off a little bit of some of those that we have available to our team members. This is an internal application that we're building to speed up our clients, our team members' workflows and help them spend more time with clients, spend more time in creative land, and relationships and creativity. I think are the big things of the future that we really want to help people tune into and take away a lot of the administrative burden that doesn't help people with those things. So this is go back and watch the earlier stream and catch the whole story here. But we're wrapping up here in about 5 minutes, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But I'm currently just moving through some sprints to be able to make sure that what we're building is following sort of the rules, if you will. We're unifying all of our data from across disparate systems and creating an intelligence. I call it an intelligence platform. It's a unified sort of knowledge base that we'll be able to prompt and query from a chatbot that we've built. It's really important that when we are parsing text that we are paying close attention to the formatting. We have a number of links indicated here that are not actually linked. They could very easily be buttons to enhance this. And we're not properly wrapping the text in the chatbot window, so I can't actually read this without scrolling. And that's just not acceptable. We need to make sure that this is fully usable and next generation chatbot for our team. I mean, really smart and intuitive, usable, less friction. We built a content manager that does not appear to manage any of the content that we have on the website. Why would we have built a content manager if we can't actually manage the content inside of the content manager? Why would you not link the front end content to the content manager? That doesn't make any sense. Why would we put the enrich with AI button inside of the front end SOP viewer and not the management backend? That doesn't make any sense. Furthermore, I am just continuously flabbergasted by your ability to populate text without any formatting whatsoever. If we're going to include references at all in the enhancement enrichment step, then it needs to actually include those references, not some bogus crap that doesn't help. All right. So I have been obsessing over these SOPs because, why is this button not? Because the sooner I get these SOPs up to date, the sooner I can really accelerate the pace of development of the overall platform. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to keep going with this kind of in the background as I move through my day. as I go about town, I do get on Lovable in my phone. If I've got roadmaps that need to be advanced and I have a little bit of downtime and I'm moving around, I will advance those roadmaps so that I can get through the work and not have to be beholden on me sitting at a computer. So
The media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
and yeah, I think we're getting there. I don't think that it's super important to have a content manager like this, but I do honestly think to myself that um, there are some small changes that you can make without needing to create a whole AI engagement. So we'll work on making sure that this is makes sense and do what we need to do. But I'm not trying to encourage my employees to enrich with AI the SOPs. That's not what we're expecting them to do. They need to be done and ready to go. So, in any event, that takes a little bit in my world. What we're working on over here in the land of AI software development. You can check out my Lovable link if you want to get 10 free credits over there. That's in the description of this event and the completed video. And yeah, if you want somebody to help you build something like this, let me know. I have a whole team of developers who have access to the tools that we build to make all of this possible. And we're ready to build for you. So go to Xponent21.com and you can request some support over there. This website's already outdated because we don't talk about the Cognitive AI Ranking Lab here yet. We just built this in January, and there's so much more that we need to add to it. But we are excited to be doing this work. It's really connecting people to a meaningful future, and it's a ton of fun to be thinking through these things and helping our team and helping everybody have a happier work world. I want to see my little picture here. I'm going to add something cool. I want to add a feature where I can invite another member of the team to one of these chat requests. So that that person can see the history and perhaps engage in the dialogue with the chatbot as well. And so that would be one more reason to show the user's image. Maybe even indicate their name there, because as our team grows, it'll be important. That's going to be a roadmap item, by the way, not something that we execute on right now. Let's make it backlog. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I'm going to be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. and we will pick up where we left off. I might be working on a couple of other things that we have in the pipeline because we've got a lot to build and we are making good progress, but we have more to go. So, once again, this is Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton, the Channel RV production. Join me again tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday. And we'll keep going. We'll do a little bit more show and tell on Monday, as I'll have something new to show off then, not related to this project or maybe tangential.